If you'd told me that MOVYing to a ritzy neighborhood would turn me into a VY Galante dad straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster, I'd have rolled my eyes. But that was before a crooked HOA tried to snatch my son, not knowing they just poked a bear, a former Navy SEAL who'd spent years hunting targets in places most folks wouldn't dare step foot in. My name's Jack Sullivan, and this is how I went from a quiet single dad to tearing down a criminal empire in just 37 hours. It all started when my 8-year-old son, Noah, and I pulled up to our new place in Willow Grove, a neighborhood so perfect it could have been ripped from a magazine. Manicured lawns, mansions that screamed money, and neighbors who probably judged you by the wax job on your SUV. I picked this place for Noah after his mom passed 2 years ago, thinking a safe, sleepy community would help us stitch our lives back together. Man, was I off the mark. The first red flag waved at the HOA orientation. Claire Thornton, the HOA president, greeted us with a smile that could have curdled milk. Mid-40s, draped in a blazer that cost more than my Jeep, she had the VYB of a shark circling prey. She hit me with questions that felt like an interrogation. "Mr. Sullivan, a single father, how?" "Demanding," she purred, her eyes glinting as she flipped through her clipboard. When I mentioned I was a security consultant plea of VYing out my sealed days, her smile sharpened like she'd struck gold. She kept digging, my finances, my plans for the house, Noah's school schedule. My gut, sharpened from years tracking high-value targets, screamed trouble. Noah felt it too, gripping my hand as we left, his instincts keener than most grown-ups. On our way home, our neighbor, Margaret Reed, a retired teacher in her 50s, handed me a pie and whispered, "Watch yourself, Jack. Things here aren't what they seem." Before I could press her, she scurried inside, glancing over her shoulder like she was being tailed. That week, I couldn't shake the feeling we were being watched. The HOA fees were insane, half the houses on our street sat empty, and neighbors dodged eye contact like it was a sport. Then Noah found a note in our mailbox. "Leave while you can." What froze my blood wasn't the threat, it was the sketch of a trident with Reaper scrawled beneath it, my old unit's code. Someone knew who I was. That night, I flipped into hunter mode. Public records showed 5 houses sold for pennies in the last 6 months, all to folks like Muirdoud, elderly, or single parents. IVY cited Mrs. Dorothy Lane, an 80-year-old widow with a fresh for sale sign. Her hands trembled as she described the HOA's playbook: fake fines, trumped-up violations, threats to force her out. "My hedges were an inch too tall," she whispered. "They fined me due law 2000. My mailbox wasn't approved. Now they want my house for half its value." Her husband had built that place 40 years ago, and they were bleeding her dry. This wasn't just bullying, it was a surgical operation, like a military campaign targeting the weakest links. At an emergency HOA meeting, Claire unveiled rules that sounded like they came from a dystopian novel. Grass under 2 inches, no outdoor furniture, due law 500 monthly, security, fees. When I pushed back, her smile turned to ice. "Mr. Sullivan, new residents should learn our ways before speaking," she said, silencing the room. Fear choked everyone else. Later, a retired mechanic, Bill Turner, pulled me aside. "They started on me after my wife died," he muttered. "They're vultures with friends in high places. Watch your back." I rigged hidden cameras around my property and taught Noah safety games. "If a stranger tries to grab you, run, yell, tell," I said. He grinned, thinking it was fun, but I knew the stakes. My cameras caught Claire's enforcer, Mike Russo, a gorilla of a man who looked like he bench-pressed tractors, sneaking around at 2 a.m., snapping photos of Noah's window with a folder labeled "Target Profile." My blood ran cold. They weren't just after my house, they were targeting my boy. When Noah came home RAVYing about a kids' HOA club, Claire was starting, my alarms blared. "She gave us cookies, Dad," he said. I let him go to one meeting but watched from my car. Through the window, I saw Claire and 2 others quizzing kids not about school, but about their parents' work hours, empty houses, hidden keys. Noah texted me. "Mrs. T talking about Willow plan." Said not to tell you. Scared, I nearly stormed in but held back. If I showed my hand, I'd lose the element of surprise. In the car, Noah spilled everything. Claire wanted kids to spy for a secret project, threatening that parents who didn't play ball might have to leave forever. My boy was shaking. This wasn't fraud, it was organized crime. Over ice cream, Noah revealed more files with family photos, one labeled Priority Target Military Background, with my picture. Claire had bragged. Your dad was a soldier, so you're special for our project. They dug up my past despite my low profile. That night, Margaret knocked, tears in her eyes. They destroyed my husband, she said. He was a lawyer, investigated them after a DU Law 3000 fine for wrong paint. They trashed his car, poisoned our dog, tanked his business. He had a breakdown. She handed me his files, bank transfers, forged deeds, photos of Claire with mob types. This was a RICO-level racket. Margaret said the local FBI brushed it off because Claire's brother-in-law worked there. I met Officer Ryan Delgado, a sharp-eyed cop, at a diner 3 towns over. I've had complaints about Willow Grove for months, he said. But EVY Denke disappears. Witnesses clam up. Families vanish. I shared what I knew, holding back Margaret's files until I could trust him. He promised to get EVY Denke to a state police contact if I got something solid. Be careful, Jack. These people don't mess around. When Claire and VY Ted Noah to a leadership workshop, I knew it was a trap. I hid a tracker in his shoe and whispered, "If it gets scary, press your heel 3 times. I'm coming." Dropping him off, my heart screamed to grab him and bolt, but I trusted the plan. 2 hours later, his tracker pinged at a rundown warehouse. I followed, parking a block away, and peered through a grimy window. Noah sat in a chair, scared but unharmed, with Claire, Mike, and 2 strangers on phones. My phone buzzed. "Want your kid back? Sign your house over. 50 fan tram value. No cops." They thought they'd cornered a desperate dad. They didn't know they'd woken a seal. I recorded as I called Claire back, playing the terrified father. "Please don't hurt him," I begged. She laughed. "Willow Grove's a gold mine, Jack. We flipped DU Law 15 million in properties this year. Your pension and that fat insurance payout from your wife's death make you perfect. That corner lot's prime for a strip mall." Rage burned as she mocked my wife's death. "You destroy lives for money," I pressed. "Welcome to America," she sneered. "We run this in 5 states. Cops, judges, politicians, most are paid off. You made us work, though. I almost respect that." She bragged about 43 properties, targeting widows, minorities, single dads like me with PTSD. I texted Delgado the location using silent signals, my training kicking in. He replied, "Backup ready. Need probable cause." I kept Claire talking, angling my boots hidden recorder. She admitted targeting Noah to break me, assuming I'd cave. At the warehouse, Mike patted me down, missing the recorder. Inside, Noah was zip-tied to a chair, his eyes lighting up when he saw me. Claire's goons stood bunched up, backs to the window's amateurs. "The deed?" Claire demanded. I held up a fake. "How many families have you crushed?" I asked, needing her confession. She smirked. 43 across 3 states. Willow Grove's houses will triple in value after rezoning we've bought. We target the weak widows, minorities, single dads like you. Cops paid. The mayor owned. Even Delgado will fold once we pay his sister's medical bills. She offered me a job, head of security, 7 figures. "Join us, Jack. Noah gets private schools, a trust fund." I played along. "What about Margaret's husband? Dorothy's home?" Her face hardened. "Collateral damage, soldier. Like your wars." I knelt to hug Noah, whispering, "When I say Bluebird, hit the floor." He nodded. "This deed's fake," I said, tapping my boot. "But this recording's priceless." Claire's face twisted with rage. Mike lunged, but I smiled. You forgot to secure your perimeter. Red laser dots hit her men's chests as sirens wailed. My old squad was outside 6 snipers who'd die for my kid plus state police and FBI. Bluebird! I called. Noah dropped as a flashbang exploded. I threw Mike into a beam, and my team breached, ending it in seconds. Noah tripped Claire as she fled, grinning. Oops, he said. I laughed. Nice one, kid. As cuffs went on, Claire snarled. You cost us millions. I leaned close. You scared my son. That's your real cost. The fallout was unreal. An accountant, Lisa Harper, had left me encrypted EVY Denke, 7 years of records, VY Deos of Claire with mobsters. Mike flipped, exposing the Liberty Residence Network, a racket hitting 200 HOAs nationwide. Claire's testimony revealed plans to target military families, exploiting their moves and PTSD. The Pentagon and veterans groups lost it, making our fight national news. Willow Grove healed. Fees plummeted, rules vanished, and Margaret became HOA president, honoring VY Timms with a plaque. Neighbors rallied, Dorothy recorded meetings, Bill tracked fines, even the mailman noted patterns. Block parties replaced fear, lawns sprouted gnomes and flamingos. Noah's courage sparked. Noah's Law. For HOA transparency and a statewide child safety program. His safety games hit school curriculums, and he got a junior detective badge. I took a part-time FBI consulting gig, helping other towns while raising Noah. He joined the swim team, dreaming of the FBI and the Olympics. My old unit launched Veterans Against HOA Abuse, and the Pentagon issued HOA warnings for troops. Willow Grove won a National Turnaround Award, the community center renamed Reed Hall. At the ceremony I said, monsters don't always hide in alleys. Sometimes they carry clipboards. But heroes? They're teachers with pies, kids with guts, neighbors who stand tall. We didn't just save our homes, we built a family. Late at night, I wonder if Claire, rotting in prison, gets it. Her empire fell because a kid texted his dad, because neighbors chose courage over silence. The best revenge isn't blood, it's a community stronger than the EVYL that tried to break it. If your HOA feels off, don't stay quiet. Fight. Because when good folks stand together, no scheme's too big to shatter. And sometimes, all it takes is one brave boy and a dad who'll never back down.